Okay, so the second video that I want to do for Courtside basketball is about the fast action cards. They drive the gameplay here in the game. I went over in the previous video the player cards. Now we'll go over the fast action cards. Then I'm going to get to another video at some point here within the next couple of days with a little bit of a sample play. So you can see here I'm getting ready to go with the 83-84 Milwaukee Bucks against the 83-84 Philadelphia 76ers with Moses and Julius at the old Mecca, right? Have my game clock. These are the reserves. Let's get these guys over here. These are the team cards with their transition ratings and the defensive ratings for Philadelphia. And then Philadelphia's offensive ratings, team ratings, and Milwaukee's home defensive ratings. So we'll get to the facts. I don't have a score sheet out yet, but the facts themselves are two-sided, meant to be read as one card. So with that being said, I'm going to take this second stack of cards here, and then I'm going to flip this. All right, so we can kind of see everything. All right, I'm going to start on the left, top left. This number here is a 1 to 20 number. This is a 1 to 10 number used for blocks. Does an individual defender make a defensive stop? Does a team make a defensive stop? This is a 1 to 100 number used for a multitude of things. Offensive player moves, pace checks, things like that. This right here, if you are playing in an era where they shoot the three-point shot, this is a 1 to 20 number. If it is within on the pace check or in a transition jump shot setting, if this number is under your team three-point shot number, they will take a three-point shot, okay? As you can see in 83-84, the Bucks didn't shoot many threes, so there's a 1 in 20 chance that they're going to shoot a three-point shot. Sixers didn't shoot any, but for comparison's sake, the 2014-15 Golden State Warriors, this number is a 6. So in this case, they would be taking a three-point shot off of a pace check. So this color represents the player who is in control of the ball in a set offense setup, okay? Prior to the game, you're going to take your 5 players and assign them a color. The colors are green, blue, black, white, red, and white. The green option will receive the most touches, roughly 30% of the touches, 25% for blue, 20% for black. I think it's like maybe 10% for red, and 5 or 10% for white. So if we were playing, if this was the Golden State Warriors, they would be shooting, the red option would be shooting a three-point shot, okay? So back to the left side. Occasionally there is a ball rotation or there is a forced shot. This right here tells you what type of shot it's going to be. Could be an inside shot, could be the player's best shot. In Another inside shot. There's an outside shot. All right. The assists, you look at the highest rating, and remember from the player card, this is the assist rating of the players right here. We're going to stay with the left side. In an instance where a foul is committed, you just flip the fact. Who's the foul on? It's on the power forward. Unless, of course, an offensive player is making an offensive move and he draws a foul, he's going to draw that from his original defender. If there's a steal on the play, you flip a card. Who steals it? The second highest in this case. Second highest in that case. And where are the steal ratings? Went over this. This is a steal rating. This is a steal rating. This is a steal rating. This is a steal rating right here. Second highest in this case, the ball will be stolen by Julius Erving. All right. This right here signifies who the fast break, who the defender is on either a fast break or a transition situation where there's a transition jump shot or the player in transition is taking the ball to the hole. Okay. Anytime there's a fast break setup, this and the transition setup are mainly just for flavor, okay? To give you kind of a visual as to what happens. So whoever is coming down on a fast break, they're setting up a teammate with a no-look pass, or they're setting up a teammate with a behind-the-back pass. That's really all that is, okay? But every once in a while, you'll see on here, you'll see a give and go. So what you want to do is, or here you see like a fake pull and he dishes the ball. There's a one-handed bounce pass. Just gives you a little bit of a visual as to what's going to happen. There's a fancy pass, a look-away pass. You kind of get the idea. Anytime there's a loose ball, you flip the fact. What kind of loose ball is it? It's an attempted save. And then there's a small chart that tells you what happens. There's a tie-up on a loose ball, so there's going to be a jump ball. There's another tie-up. There's a scramble for it. There's a crazy bounce. It might bounce off of an offensive player. It might bounce off a referee. Somebody picks it up and, you know, the defense goes in transition or goes on a fast break, or it bounces off of an offensive player. Somebody picks it up and they dunk the ball or what have you. Anytime a turnover occurs, you just flip the fact. What kind of turnover was it? It was a pass out of bounds. It was a player stepped on the line. They traveled. You know, you get the idea. Anytime there's a team rebound or in a set offense where there's a non-shooting foul, you flip the fact and you look at the inbounds play. It tells you what you're going to do there. Anytime you need the automatic three-point shot, you look at this. Or you need the desperation three, you look at that. Does he get the three off? No. It's going to be an auxiliary play. Does he get the three off? Yes. This section right here where it says visitor, 55% of the fact cards say home, and 45% of the fast action cards say visitor. What this is for, there is a mechanic in this game where the result could be either or. Could be either like a foul on the visitor or the ball went out of bounds. Or it could be like a defensive stop for the visitor or the ball went out of bounds. If that's the case, you look at this to see which team the call favors. And what this does, this triggers referee interactions where there could be technical fouls given, ejections, things like that. That's what that is. There's a situation where a player can throw an alley-oop. Like let's say we're looking at Sidney Moncrief. He's going to pass and you flip in the 100 number. Let's just say this is a 27. So the 27 is going to be in his alley-oop range. You would flip the fact, take a look, and for the receiver to catch the pass, it has to be, you flip the next fact card, and if it's within Sidney Moncrief's pass rating of 93, it's a completed alley-oop. In this case, it's a 9, so That's a 1 to 100 number, so that's a pretty easy pass for him. There are auxiliary plays on fast breaks. Now, this is an example of one here. This is going to be a loose ball. There's a flagrant 2. There's a flagrant 1. Another loose ball. Another loose ball. There's a breakaway clear path foul. There are player control fouls. That's where all those types of things come into play. Let's back down here. Double team. You know what? Honestly, I never use double team, so that's just a section I'm actually not really familiar with how it works, but you know, that's the double team section. This right here, this is if you need a color option for a transition. Let's say a team is getting out in transition. The first thing you're going to typically do is look at this outlet. And most of the time, it's going to have a player position, like a point guard, a power forward, typically not the power forward, but a point guard, shooting forward, going to be listed there. If there's no one listed there, you would go here and take a look at this. And the blue option, in this case, if it was the Sixers, the blue option is Moses Malone, so you would see Moses Malone leading transition. Yikes. Scary, I know. And then what we have down here, across the bottom, actually, let's do it this way. You have, this is what is considered as, this is a 1 to 100 number, and in the instructions, it's considered the L100. All right, because occasionally on a chart, you'll need to take a look at the L100. If a loose ball ends up being a crazy bounce, you look at the L100. Where does it fall? Then you look at the right or the R100 or the right 100, and you apply that to this. So it might be off of an offensive player. If it's a 7, it's going to be a dunk to the shooting forward. So that part of the fact card is the L100. This is a 1 to 20 number if you need it. And then we're going to go over to the right PRC or right fast action card. This is a 1 to 100 number. I'm sorry. This is a 1 to 100 number. I talked about the 3-point and I talked about the color. This foul number helps determine who committed a foul on a play. This right here, when I did the player card video, I spoke about interior block ratings for defenders. One thing you need to be conscientious of when you're deciding what offensive move to make is, does the defensive team have a lot of rim protection? And you can tell that by looking at the interior defensive block ratings from the defensive side. Because what this signifies here is, if you are driving to the hole and you're going to shoot, let's say you took the shot, you're going to check to see what the interior block rating of the shooting forward is. In this case, let's say it's Marcus Johnson. His interior block rating is a 2, and that's a 1 to 20 number. So if it was the shot interior block rating, small forward, Marcus Johnson's interior block rating is a 2. You look at this 1 to 20 number, 18, it's above his block rating. He's not going to block it. Okay, but for comparison's sake, you look at Alton Lister, and he has an interior block rating of 9. Great rim protector, has his own individual block rating of 8. So he blocks a lot of shots. So if you decide with Julius Erving that you want to drive to the basket or post up, you need to be conscientious of Alton Lister in there because he has a good interior block rating. Now, there's ways for players to make an athletic move or a power move to get around the block, but that's just something that is really unique and special about this game, in my opinion, is, yeah, I may be able to beat my guy off the dribble, but do they have rim protection? And in this case, you can see that they do. How's the Sixers rim protection? Well, Maurice Cheeks doesn't have an interior block number that's very good, but Irving is a 6. Andrew Toney's a 1. Moses is a 5. And Clement Johnson is a 5. So you can see how when you make your decision on what offensive move to make, you need to be conscientious, especially on inside play, whether you're driving the lane or trying to drive to get an inside shot or a dunk, or if you're posting up. So that's what that is right there. So like, let's say, you know, Julius gets the ball, he drives inside, he has an inside shot, gonna take it up. Oh, there's an interior block right here, and you look over here. That's how that works. This right here is for physical play, and this is for referee interactions. That's a video for another time. This right here, if a team is getting out on a fast break, what is the fast break situation? I've seen there's 1-on-none, 2-on-1, and 3-on-2. I spoke about the outlet. Typically, there's going to be a player listed there, like point guard. Point guard. Who's the outlet? Who has the ball in transition or for the fast break? A lot of point guards, right? There's a small forward. There's a shooting guard. There's a blank. Okay. I mentioned steals. Like on auxiliary plays, you'll see a steal every once in a while. Whether it's a defensive auxiliary play or a defensive team auxiliary play or an individual auxiliary play, there's a steal. If it's a team auxiliary play, you check to see who made the steal, like I showed you earlier before, and then you slide over to this thing and what happens off the steal. They're just going to have possession. Here's one where they end up in transition. Here's one where they end up in transition. Here's one that ends up in a fast break. You get the idea. If there's a block, you take a look at the block result. Sometimes there's a jump ball. Sometimes they block it out of bounds. Sometimes they block it and they go into transition. Sometimes before the block, the offensive player will dish the ball off to a teammate. Blocked out of bounds. Blocked for transition. Blocked out of bounds. You get the idea. Blocked for a fast break, even though there's a misspelling there. Down toward the end of the game, there are like different plays that you can run or that you have to run when there's only 5 seconds left. Or there's no time left on the clock, but the buzzer hasn't gone off yet. This is a half-court final play. This is a full-court final play. Full-court press I don't use. It's not used that often in modern-day basketball. I should probably look into it one day, but I don't use it, but it has no effect on the games that I play. It's just really good. This is a full-court press auxiliary play. Obviously, that doesn't work. Now, I've mentioned auxiliary plays a lot. The defensive team can force an auxiliary play in a pace check. And if there is an auxiliary play, what do? You flip it over and you look, there's a 24-second violation. Or there's a 24-second. There's another one. There's an out of bounds with less than 3 seconds on the clock. Another shot clock violation. There's a double foul. There's a kick ball. There's a defensive foul away from the ball. You get the idea. It just tells you what the auxiliary play is. Whether the individual defender gets the auxiliary play or the team gets the auxiliary play. Excuse me. Across the bottom. This is a 1 to 20 number. Right here, if you need a number 1 to 20. This is, I mentioned when I showed you that chart, this is a 1 to 100 number. This is the R100 number. Okay? This is used for loose ball fouls. Occasionally you'll see in this rebound section, which is the last piece I'm going to go over, you'll see an asterisk, like it'll say power forward. Let me see if I can find one real quick. Come on. No. I guess I probably should have had this teed up, but there you go. If you see that, let me just go over this real quick. This is the rebound section. And these two numbers here correspond and make a work together and make a number 1 to 100. This is the offensive player battling for the rebound. This is the defensive player battling for the rebound. This right here means that the defensive player may cause a loose ball foul. If that's the case, you flip the card, you look at the loose ball foul number, it's a 4.3, and every defensive player has a loose ball foul number next to his defensive rebounding section right here. That would be a foul on Lister, would not be a foul on Moncrief, would not be a foul on Bridgman, and would not be a foul on Lanier. So that's that. And this right here is a 1 to 10 number that falls within the assist. So let's say you're in transition. You have a transition play, and it's a setup, and it's a bounce pass. To see if it's a successful bounce pass or not, if this number right here falls within the assist rating of the player with the ball in transition, then he creates that pass. So in this case, practically everyone's going to have an assist rating of 1. So they're all going to be able to do that bounce pass. Let's say it's another bounce pass, and 2.9 is the assist rating. Or it's a look-away pass, and 1.1. Let's see how it kind of goes. 7.7. Like, who has a 7 assist rating? Mo Cheeks does not. He has a 7, but not a 7.7. I can tell you that Magic Johnson on the 86-87 Lakers has an assist rating of 13. So you kind of get the idea. John Stockton on the 96-97 Jazz has an assist rating of 12. So that's the facts. And I guess we can kind of do one more here with this rebound. I can kind of show you how the chart was. Let's say a shot goes up and the shot is missed. What you do for the rebound is you go and use the same cards. You take these two numbers. It's a 1 to 100 number. And you move it to this chart here, and 26, you can see it's going to be a normal rebound in close. So 1 to 42 is a close, 43, 44, all the way up to here. You can see that rebounds in the key, a physical rebound in the key. This is an uncontested defensive player gets the ball uncontested. The offensive player gets the ball uncontested. Long rebounds, right? And then the rebound is tipped out, or if it's 100, it's a loose ball. And then you just flip the fact, look at the loose ball. In this case, it'd be a scramble. Then you go to this chart, look at the C100, look at the left 100, the right 100, who is it? And then it'll tell you who gets the ball. It's that simple. So that's kind of how rebounds work without getting into too much detail. But those are the facts. And any questions, let me know. Thanks.